What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Comfort Zone, your place for some casual, comfortable Commander. I'm your host, Dan. That's your host, John. John, what are we doing today?
Today, we're going to be getting a little bit out of our normal level of comfortability and play some higher power decks. We like having decks we can play at any table, sit down with anybody, but these decks definitely sit at a little bit of the upper echelon of our personal collections. I am going to be running Jodah the Unifier. I know, roll your eyes, it's Jodah, but this build's a little less control-y, a little less super frenzy, and we really try to just pack it in with as many legendary creatures as possible and take every single one of them to face.
Yeah, sweet. And usually that works quite well. However, hopefully not today, because I'm going to be running one of my strongest decks, which is helmed by Atla Polani. Atla Polani is usually built as kind of a dinosaur tribal, but my deck focuses mainly on changelings and using Atla's triggered ability to flip through my library as much as possible, stacking ETB abilities and kind of using sacrifice outlets to loot my deck, which is a lot more combo-y and a lot more high powered than I'm used to. Hopefully it can stand up against Jodah, but we're going to find out today. So without further ado, get comfortable. It's time to play some Commander. I don't know, guys. This is pretty crazy. We don't usually play at this tier. Let's see how we
don't
even do. Boom.
Let's see if I remember what cards I put in this deck. I got a 6.
Look at a 17. All right,
All
now
right.
that
Looks like you're going
CEDH,
first.
let me tell you.
Game over.
You know how it goes. All right, we're coming out. We're starting out. We're doing a Temple of Scribandon. And then we're passing.
Oh boy, we're going to draw Temple of Scribandon.
You like that?
You're ridiculous.
All right, we're keeping that on top. It's ridiculous.
Right, and we're actually gonna have to go with a Zagoth Triome. It's coming in tap. See? No CEDH here.
Yeah,
tap
come
lands
on.
all
Tap
around.
lands, guys.
You're
Let's
up.
go. All right, untap up, you draw. Oh, wait till you see this.
Is it a Temple of
It's a Spire Garden.
Splenti?
And go ahead and count those opponents for me. 1. Believe us, we're a 4-player channel at heart, okay? But today, that boy comes into play tapped, unfortunately. And we're coming out with the Utopian Micron.
Oh, the Micron.
Now this guy's kind of crazy. So he's a 0/2. At the beginning of my upkeep, I put a Spore counter on him. I can remove 3 Spore counters from the Utopian Micron to make a 1/1 green Saproling. I can sack a Saproling to add 1 mana of any color in my mana pool. That's the important part. All right, pass.
All right, we're going to untap. We're going to draw. What is that? That's a card, that's for sure. All right, so we're going to play the Plaza of Heroes. Then we're going to attack the Zagoth Triome, and we're going to drop an Exploration.
Oh, boy.
Exploration says that I can play an additional land on each of my turns.
Wow, look at these high power cards.
And then we're going to come in with a tapped Blood Crypt. And I think we're going to pass the turn. Yeah, my thoughts were confirmed. You're up.
Sweet. Untap, upkeep. We're going to go ahead and grab a Spore counter. And we're going to draw. Oh, wow. Fetch lands. They're a thing. That I don't usually have. We're going to play an Arid Mesa. How about that?
Ooh, that's a pretty one.
And then we're going to tap 2, and we are going to play the Spawning Pit. It is a 2-mana artifact. I can sacrifice a creature to put a charge counter on the Spawning Pit. I can pay 1 and remove 2 charge counters from the Spawning Pit in order to create a 2/2 spawn artifact creature and put it right into play. Then we are going to pass.
Alrighty, we're going to untap. We're going to draw. Oh, dear. We're going to play Temple Garden tapped, and then, very unusual, but what does that do?
It does a lot of things. They put 4 lines of text on that thing.
And 3 of them are just tapped. We're gonna pass, actually.
Okay.
We're dropping the Temple Garden tapped and pass.
End of your turn, we're cracking the Arid Mesa.
Makes sense.
Then we're going to go dig. All right. We're going to find a Jetmir's Garden, put it into play. Then we're going to go to my turn. Untap, upkeep, and drizzle. It's the official anthem of the comfortable. All right. We're going to come down with this Gorgios. Oh, I'm sorry. My other trigger. So irrelevant, but there it is. We're going to come down with the plains. Very beautiful. Key.
Oh.
And then we're going to tap 3. Let's do it like that. Whoops. Okay. And we're going to play the Mirror Entity. Mirror Entity is a 1/1 changeling. I can pay X and have creatures I control become XX and gain all creature types until the end of turn. And then we're going to pass.
All right. So, untapping that garden, and we're going to the draw. And alrighty, then we actually, believe it or not, we're going to come in with a tapped Jetmir's Garden.
Hey!
And then, unfortunately, we're gonna have to take the L on this turn too and pass.
Oh. Dear Lord! Wow, the C in that CEDH over there is looking a little flimsy.
C means calculated, taking my time.
All right, so untap upkeep. Not gonna forget the trigger. Ba-bum. And then we're gonna draw. All right. We are going to play a forest. And then we are going to remove our 3 spore counters from the Utopian Micron to create a 1/1 green sapling, which we will draw on your turn.
It's the best time to draw.
Then we are going to come down with green, white, red, and one of anything for Atla Palani.
Let me help.
And just for a refresher, she has 2 and tap to create a 0/1 green egg creature token with Defender. And she also has, whenever an egg I control dies, I reveal cards on the top of my library until I reveal a creature card. I put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of my library in a random order. Now, we're going to try to get spicy. We are going to pay 1 into the Mirror Entity's ability to make creatures I control become 1/1 until end of turn and gain all creature types. So, all these guys are now technically eggs. So we're going to start by sacrificing the sapling token, which is now also an egg, into the Utopian Micron's ability to add 1 mana of any color to my mana pool. We are going to add a red. And then that is going to go away. So actually, you know what we'll do? We'll keep track of the mana. 1 red. Okay. This is going to trigger Atla's ability to allow me to flip off the top of my library until I hit a creature. Let's go. We're going to hit the Masked Vandal. Masked Vandal is a 1/3 changeling. When he enters the battlefield, I can exile a creature card from my graveyard. If I do, I exile target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. Not too terribly relevant because we're trying to wheel ourselves out. So we're going to sack the Masked Vandal into Utopian Micron, and we're going to create a 2nd red, and we are going to dig again. We're going to get Gerard, the Weatherlight Hero. He's a 3/3 first strike. When he dies, I can exile it and return to the battlefield all artifact and creature cards in my graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Then we are going to go ahead and use 1 of the floating red mana, bringing us down to a single red, in order to put that back into Mirror Entity's ability again, thus creating my board as 1/1 changelings. That's going to catch Gerard. And then we are going to sacrifice the Mirror Entity into the Utopian Micron, creating another red mana, and flipping again. We are going to flip past the Maskwood Nexus, which is unfortunate. Such is life. And we're going to get the Tauren Mauler. Changeling, all that really matters. When my opponent casts a spell, he gets a +1/+1 counter. We are going to sack the Changeling back in the Utopian Micron. We are going to make a green this time, and we're going to flip again. We're going to get the Changeling Hero. He champions a creature when he comes into play. He has lifelink 4/4. He's a Changeling. We're not going to champion anything. We're going to let him die. So he's not going to be a champion of nothing. He's going to go to the graveyard, and we are going to get another flip. We're going to flip into Laughless, the Dragon Queen. She's a 6/6 flying. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under my control, I create a 5/5 dragon. She also can fire breathe for all my dragons for a little bit of mana invested. So we're going to go ahead and sacrifice Gerard into Utopian Micron to create another green mana. Then Gerard's trigger is going to trigger, which says that when he dies, I exile it and return to the battlefield all artifact and creatures cards are put there from the battlefield this turn, which is going to include Changeling Hero, Tauren Mauler, and Mirror Entity, and the Masked Vandal. Whew. When these guys enter, they're going to trigger Lathless since they are all changelings, and she's going to create me 5/5 red dragons. 5/5 dragon. I will draw it if it becomes relevant. And most importantly, we have ETB trigger here, which is not going to be utilized, and an ETB trigger here, which is going to again fail to champion, and he's going to go to the graveyard. We are going to flip. And let's see, we're going to get the Firebelly Changeling. Firebelly Changeling is a 1/1 who has fire breathing, but most importantly, he's a changeling. Makes me another dragon. That is going to be 5 total. And he's going right to the G-Yard so that we can flip. All right, we're going to get the Universal Automaton. He's a changeling, makes me a dragon. Going right to the G-Yard so we can flip. Forgot to add mana. We're going to add 2 more green. That's 4 green. Alrighty. Flipping. We get the Valiant Changeling. He costs less, blah, blah, blah. He's a changeling. Yeehaw. He's going to create another dragon, bringing us up to 7 dragons. And he's got double strike, so on and so forth. But we are going to sacrifice him right away, create another red mana because we can, bring us up to 3 red, 4 green, and we're going to flip. We're going to get into Bloom Tender. Little unfortunate. Oh well. But what we're going to do is we are going to take our green down by 1, bringing us to 3 red, 3 green, and we are going to use Mirror Entity again to make everybody changelings, and we are going to sacrifice the Bloom Tender to flip.
Oh, the horror.
Horror. All right. And we're going to get Changeling Titan. Also sacking the Bloom Tender, by the way, brought us back up to 4 green. Just didn't address it. This is another champion.
I bet I know what that means.
Yeah, so he's going to create a dragon, and he's going to let himself die right away, and we're going to flip. We're going to get Imposter of the Sixth Pride. We're going to create another dragon.
What in the world is that?
What's that look like? A lot of lethal. Imposter of the Sixth Pride is a changeling 3/1. Who would have guessed? All right. Now, we are going to go ahead and use 3 of our green, 2 of our red, bringing us down to 1 red and 1 green, and we are going to cast Urabrask the Hidden, thus giving him Creature's Haste and coming in for lethal. Assuming you don't have anything.
I mean, no, nope.
Okay. There you go.
All right, so that was pretty intense, but on to the next game.
Round 2.
A pushed and powerful 10.
A much more pushed and powerful 11.
Bro.
Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to start by playing a Marsh Flats. We're immediately going to tap it and sack it and go with a land. We are going to dig the Overgrown Tomb out. We're going to pay the 2 life, so it comes into play untapped. And we're going to tap that bad boy for a Birds of Paradise, and it's going to be your turn.
Oh, boy. That's pretty good. All right, untap, upkeep, draw. And then analyze. We are going to come out with very unfortunate Rootbound Crag tapped. And then pass.
Alrighty, so we're going to untap. We're going to draw off the top of this ye old library, and we are going to play a Spar's Headquarters tapped. And with that tapped Spar's Headquarters, we...
What you gonna do with that tapped Spar's Headquarters?
Oh, with the Spar's Headquarters specifically? Well, let's see. Alright, so we're going to tap the tomb. We're going to tap the birds. The birds are going to float a green. It's irrelevant. And we're going to play Time of Need. So I'm going to go dig for a legendary creature, reveal it, put it into my hand, and then shuffle my library.
Oh, wow.
Alright, and with the search for my Time of Need, we are in great need of Selvala, Heart of the Wilds. We're going to put her into my hand and pass the turn.
Nice. Untap, upkeep, draw. Oh dear lord. What a bad land to have in this particular scenario.
Is it a land that wants you to have more friends?
It might be. But luckily we still have a command tower for the time being. And we're going to go ahead and pop out the Sylvan Library with that guy.
Oh, what a tasty card.
If y'all are not familiar, Sylvan Library is kind of weird, but basically during my draw step, I'm going to draw 2 additional cards, and then I can pay massive amounts of life to keep a couple of them or put them back. You'll see how it works. All right, pass.
We pay that 4 life often.
We
pay the 8 life
Come
often.
on now.
We're going to untap. We're going to draw. And who needs land drops? Not me. We're going to tap 3. And, if you can't guess, we're going to play that card that I got earlier. Selvala, the Heart of the Wilds. What Selvala does is she's a 2/3. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, its controller may draw a card if its power is greater than each other creature's power. And then for green and tap, she adds X mana and any combination of colors to my mana pool where X is the greatest power among creatures I control. And we're going to pass.
What's baby girl's power over there?
2.
2. All right. All right, pass it. Untap, upkeep, draw step. Let's take a gander. Oh, wow. That's something. We're going to look at that with respect to my hand. Oh boy, oh boy. We're taking 4. We're leaving that bad boy on top. You know how it be. Let's take that 4.
Take
I don't
8.
need life, dog. I was thinking about it. Don't tempt me. Don't tease me like that. We're going to play the must have more than you, Bountiful Promenade. But you're all I really need.
Hey.
I play tap lands for you, boy.
Oh, dude, I'll play tap lands for you all day long.
Yeah, I'll sacrifice some mana for love. That's
Every
half
time.
Half of the heart.
Everything.
All right, here we go. We're going to utilize our 2 mana, and we're going to play the Altar of Dementia.
Oh, no.
We're going to make you geriatric with this bad boy by
no.
sacrificing a creature. Target player put a number of cards equal to that creature's power from the top of their library into their graveyard. Nice classic sack outlet. Pass turn.
All right, so we're going to untap. We are going to go and draw a card. And oh, thank the Lord, it's a land. This makes everything better. So we are going to drop the Polluted Delta. With the Polluted Delta, we're going to sacrifice it to go get a land I can put into play untapped. All right, so, and we're paying the 2 mana. So this Blood Crypt
paying the 2
comes
mana
into play untapped.
That's a bad land.
I always pay 2 mana to pay life to untap a land. All right, so
sequencing, come on, that's important.
woo! So then we're going to tap that for a black, that for a white, and that for a green, and bring in Kethis, the Hidden Hand. Fun trivia, he was my original Legends Matter commander. Kethis says that my legendary spells cost 2 less to cast. He also says that I can exile 2 legendary cards from my graveyard, and then until the end of turn, each legendary card remaining in my graveyard gains, you may play this card from your graveyard.
You know, he's pretty cracked, not gonna lie.
He is. And then we're going to tap the green. We're going to tap Selvala, and I'm going to add...
What's his power? Do you draw?
3. Oh man, I do draw a card. And we're still tapping her to add 3 mana, and that 3 mana can be in any combination of colors.
Wow, that's tossed.
So we're going to pay 2 of it, leaving 1 to float off into the aether, for Najila the Blade Blossom.
Jesus Lord, help us.
Whenever she's a 3/2 warrior, whenever Najila attacks, I can have its controller... Sorry, whenever a warrior I control attacks, I can have its controller make another warrior that's tapped and attacking. And then I can tap 1 white, 1 blue, 1 red, 1 green, 1 black to untap all attacking creatures. They gain trample, lifelink, and haste until end of turn. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. Activates its ability only during combat. And
that card is
then,
insane.
my friend, it's your turn.
Wow, I'd like how your deck is like a showcase of all the cards that like are as cracked as possible. It's like cracked cards typle.
Yeah, 100%.
Go to my draw. We're drawing the extra, or well, we're looking and considering the extra.
You're good.
Oh, come on, man. Not grand. Not great. Ooh, we really needed that not to be what that is currently. Can we even afford to lose life is the question, because we're about to get smackdowned. We're going to not lose the life. And instead, we're just taking the one thing and being sad about it for an indefinite amount of time. We're going to tap 3. We're going to play the Dragon's Horde. Dragon's Horde says that when it enters the battlefield, when a dragon enters the battlefield under my control, I put a gold counter on the Dragon's Horde.
Ooh.
I can tap to remove a gold counter from Dragon's Horde to draw a card. It also taps for a mana of any color. Then we are going to tap the Dragon's Horde, and we are going to play the Utopian Micron.
Oh, the Micron.
Utopian Micron, so dope. 0/2. At the beginning of my upkeep, you get the sport counter. Remove 3 sport counters to create a 1/1 sapling, and I can sack a sapling to add 1 mana of any color in my mana pool. And then we are going to drop a Jetmir's Garden as my land for turn, and we are going to have to pass.
Alrighty, so we're gonna untap. And we are going to draw. Then we're gonna have to think. Well, while I think, I'm gonna play Wooded Foothills. I'm gonna pay the life, sack it, and we are going to get another land that I can put into play untapped. All right, so I'm gonna get the Steam Vents, and of course we're paying the 2 life to let it come into play untapped, because life is a resource here in the comfort zone or the uncomfortable zone. I don't know. This is one of those games. And then we're gonna have to tap. We're gonna tap this green and this Selvala, and we're going to add 3 mana. Then on top of that 3 mana, we are going to add 1, 2, 3 more. So we're gonna have 6 floating. 6! Jodah costs 5. You're right. But with Kestis on the field, the Chromatic Ori only costs 6. So we're gonna play the Chromatic Ori. It is a legendary artifact. This says that I can spend mana as though it were mana of any color, and it taps to add 5 mana. So
wait, Kethis reduces it by 2 or 1?
by 1.
Oh, by 1. I thought you said 2. My bad.
So then we're gonna tap that for 5 mana, and we're gonna get 1 of any color, and we're gonna bring in the man, the myth, Jodah the Unifier. So this lengthy book of a text box. Legendary creatures I control the +X/+X, where X is the number of legendary creatures I control. It's currently 4, because he includes himself, which is dumb. And then whenever I cast a legendary spell from my hand, exile cards from the top of my library, until you exile a legendary non-land card with lesser mana value. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
That's bad.
So that's super cool.
Oh yes, super cool.
So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to combat, and all my creatures get +4/+4.
No.
So Kethis and Najeela are both going to come in as it's a 3/4 and a 3/2 that are getting boosted to a 7/8 and a 7/6. 14 damage coming at you.
Ouch. That's not great. We're going to 22. Assuming I did my math correct. Post edit. Fix it for me. Alright. And then you're done, my friend?
Oh, I'm done. Yes, sirree.
Alright. Untapping. Upkeeping. We're going to get a counter on the Utope. The Macronian. And we're going to draw. And we're going to pray because we're not going to dig. No, we didn't get it. Oh, man. If we had gotten the untapped land, I might have been able to get there. Well, that's a little unfortunate. So I guess we're going to grab this. And for the YOLO Swagoli, we're going to grab that. Pop that on top. That's right. I did that. And we're going to 18. No, you know what? We're grabbing that too. We're going to 14.
Now grab it all right?
How do you like that? Apples.
I love it.
Then we're playing the Path of Ancestry as my land for turn. Because I can. Only a sweet 5 mana, which is not gonna cut it. We are going to tap 2, and we are going to play the Spawning Pit. It's another random sack outlet, hardly relevant. Then we're passing.
All right, so this is the fun turn.
Oh, yes.
Not that every turn in a game of Magic can't be fun, but you know.
So some are
So
extra special fun.
We're gonna draw, and we're gonna start it off. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tap 1, 2, 3, 4, and the bird makes 5. Because we can tap mana however we want, and we're not gonna tap the bird because this card has its cost reduced by 1 because of Kethis, so we're only tapping 4. And we're coming in with Karlach, the Fury of Everness. He is a 5/4. He says that whenever you attack, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, untap all attacking creatures. They gain first strike till end of turn. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. But upon casting Karlach, we're going to flip with Jodah, and I'm going to look for a legendary that has a mana value 4 or less.
Nice.
So we're going to flip Aurelia, bummer. Gisela, bummer. Nature's Lore. We're looking at lands. We're looking at lands. Oh, and we're getting Odric.
Oh my god.
Odric is super good. Odric says, at the beginning of each combat, creatures you control gain first strike till end of turn if a creature you control has first strike. The same is true for flying, death touch, double strike, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, skulk, trample, and vigilance. I can't say every keyword because it's not all of them, but it's a hefty pile of keywords.
I wonder if he's like oracled to just be all of them, or if it's literally that subset. As they make like new keywords, like they don't get caught. That's weird.
That is really weird.
Comment down below if you know the answer.
If you have any idea. Then what we're gonna do is we're going to tap 1 and tap Selvala, who's gonna add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 5, who's gonna add 11 mana. 4 of it, so we have 7 floating, is gonna be for Sirach Dragonclaw. He's a 6/6 with flash. He can't be countered. My other creature spells can't be countered, and other creatures I control have trample. So him and Odric kind of are, they're already taking care of each other. But either way, we're gonna go look for something with mana value 4 or less. That is legendary. We're skipping the protection. We're skipping the lands. How much mana value is that guy? Too much. Oh, and we're gonna hit.
Hey, Valky.
Valky, the God of Lies.
Love that guy.
Me too. Here's the thing. Normally, the cool thing in this deck is that I can hit Valky and then go cast the other side. But in this current scenario, part of me feels like it's better to just have another legendary body.
It's potential.
So that's what we're going to do.
All right.
Then we're going to go to combat.
Hold on. He has an ETB, my friend.
Oh, he does. You're right. I'm skipping triggers. Whenever he enters the battlefield, each opponent reveals their hand. For each opponent, exile a creature until Valky leaves the battlefield. And then Valky can become a copy of that creature for X, where X is that creature's mana cost.
All right. I am going to respond. Not that it particularly matters, but it would be revealed anyway. So we're going to tap 3, and we are going to play Teferi's Protection. So until my next turn, my life total cannot change. I gain protection from everything, and all permanents I control phase out. Zoop. Now, because Valky doesn't target, it says each other. If I remember what you read, you're still going to get to dig through my hand, because protection only protects me from targeting.
Yep.
That's correct?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So we have Geshef, the Sun's Avatar, Perforos, the God of the Forge, the Irregular Cohort, which is the changeling that when he ETBs creates another changeling, and the Mirror Entity.
Oh, man. Geshef.
Yeah. Geshef it is. Exiled over with your dude. All right.
I do have 7 mana left over from all that, so we're gonna use 5 of it and tap the Chromatic Orrery, so I have 2 mana left floating. I guess I should. Oh, I don't need to name them because of the Orrery. So 2 left floating, and I'm gonna draw a card. For each color among permanents I control. So 5.
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How strange. I have 2 mana? Okay, so with that 2 mana, I am going to play Farseek. Search my library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain. Put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Oh, bummer. Yeah, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So we're going to do that. Alright, so we're going to put the Triome of the Savai into play tapped. And then, as my land, as per my turn, we're going to play the Arid Mesa. We're going to sack that. Of course, we're taking the life.
Of course.
And we are going to go search for a shockland. All right, and with that Arid Mesa, we, of course, are grabbing the Zeotor's Proving Grounds, also tapped. And then, I got all excited about the combat step.
I'm not even here, baby.
You're literally not even here. Wait, does that mean I win?
No, come on now. I'm like here, but not here. I'm phased. You know how it is. It's like I'm translucent. You just turn down the opacity.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So then, it's your turn.
All right, boys. This is the one that matters. Here we go. We're phased back in. We're untapping. We're upkeeping. We're getting a counter on that bad boy, and we're going to the draw. Oh, the draw of the game. Sylvan Library. Let's see. We're taking everything because that's all that matters. You don't have anything that deals damage right now, right? That's important.
I just want to make sure. No, nothing like deals extraneous damage.
We're going to 6. Let's take everything. Oh boy, let's see if it even works out for us. Okay, we're going to play a mountain, and then we are going to analyze your board, and then we are going to do a thing. So we are going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4. Guess we should be intelligent, and we'll do it like this for Atla. All right, now we are going to come down with 1, 2, 3 to play the Realm Walker. When Realm Walker enters the battlefield, I choose a creature type. I'm going to look at the top card of my library at any time, and I can cast creature spells of the chosen type from among the top of my library. So I'm going to choose, let's go with Dragon. And then we are going to look at the top for fun. And then, this is it. We are going to sacrifice the Realm Walker into the Utopian Micron, generating us a white mana. So let's grab out our log, and we will do 1 white. And we are going to get a flip on Atla. Also, by the way, sorry, because technically Realm Walker was a dragon, I do get a counter onto the Dragon's Horde. Not entirely relevant, but we're going to check it out. All right, 1 white. We are going to flip for a creature. And we are going to get the Changeling Titan. Changeling Titan has championed a creature. He is a 7/7. We are going to choose to not champion anybody. So Changeling Titan is going to sack himself. We are going to get another count on the Dragon's Horde when he ETB. And we are going to flip again. And we are going to flip into the Luminous Broodmaw. Flying, whenever a creature I control without flying dies, I return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it. However, that's not going to cut the cake. We are going to look at things and probably cry, because I think that's it. Oh, man. We were so close.
You were. I mean, Broodmoth, when the engine's going, is normally a terrifyingly good hit.
Oh, Broodmoth is spice, but I don't think we're gonna be able to pull it out here, unfortunately. So yeah, it's looking like, unfortunately, we burnt out. We have our white mana that we could use, but nothing really to do with it. So it's looking like we're passing, and that's looking like the game.
I was gonna say we can go through it if you want, but
Yeah, you can just turn those suckers sideways and call it a day.
I say they all got flying, and they're all getting a minimum of +8/+8. So.
Yep. GG. Whew. All right, man, that was a lot. Definitely outside of our normal pace of things. But I don't know, for me and for the comfort zone, I never want to be able to not play a game. So I definitely have decks that kind of span that horizon and get a little bit deeper into the high power, because I want to be able to sit down at any table and have a deck that can at least show up and play with. So it's kind of fun sometimes to slam some of those higher power games against a deck that kind of is its equal and just see how things pan out. I thought both decks did relatively well, and it was really exciting to see some of those swingy turns where it's one turn decides the whole game. But I don't know, what did you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, again, it's nice to be able to like cut loose a little bit and I mean, the fetch lands and I mean the land bases in those decks are so tuned, and like the removal and all that kind of stuff. It's cool to be able to just like put the pedal to the floor and just see what happens, it's always a good time, which is cool.
Yeah, and luckily, like, if you go into a game like that knowing what it is, like if you sit down at a table knowing you're playing a high power game, generally speaking, you can kind of just get into that mindset and have fun with it regardless.
Oh yeah.
Even though sometimes they aren't really our usual like casual tune. But hopefully you guys like seeing some of our more high power decks. We don't play these very often, so they'll probably sit on the shelf for quite a bit. But if you liked either of these decks and you guys want to try them out for yourself, again, our deck lists are going to be linked in the Mox field below, so feel free to check that out. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, let us know. Feel free to leave a comment and definitely subscribe, because we want to see you here next Friday in the zone with us. And of course, as always, we'll see you in the multiverse.